everybody. My name is Orlando Villarreal, and welcome to Whittlin Time. Today we're gonna work on some mold making. I'm gonna show you how I make my molds for my castings, like this little guy here, and these are some of the castings I make. So, but let's start with a product I use for making molds and castings. To make the mold, I use this product called Craft Mold Rubber, and it's distributed by a company called Special Resin Chemicals. And so let's see. So this is what the mold looks like when we're done. So we start by building a container for the piece. Let's say, for example, we're going to do this little guy here. We're going to cast that, and we start. I get some of this foam board that you can get anywhere, Menards. I get it at Hobby Lobby, but you want to pick the shiny one that's real slippery. It makes the mold, come out of the box easier. So what I do is I start by I pick my subject, and then I go and build a little box. So this is what we do. We go in there, and I cut all the pieces that I'm going to need. And when you start, you want to put this guy right here. This is the base of the mold box, and then you cut a strip. You'll need a ruler or a measuring tape. You measure what height you want it, and you typically want it about a ½ inch higher than the casting material or the subject. And then I also make it about a ½ inch bigger than the subject in there, so you give enough space so it doesn't tear up when you pull it from the mold. And so I take it and I measured, I cut this bottom first, and then I measured how it's going to go. I went and cut them all. And when I do this, I measured, like I said, I make it a ½ inch bigger. Then I cut on the outside of it just barely so I can bend it instead of, you could do it in piece by piece by piece, but this works a lot better because then you won't have any leaks on the edges. So I cut it to the size, and put it in there like so. And then what I do is I take a hot glue gun this is not hot right now, but and then I just go around the edges and glue the box right there. And then I'll glue this little edge right here, put some glue there, and then I hold them together for a second, and they usually stay together like that. And so this is what you're going to have when you're done. And then I take my RTV mold, and I have a part A and a part B, but I ran out of the part A. So, but anyway, you get two different colors. And the reason they give you two different colors of the mold making materials is because when you mix it, you want to stir it till it's all one color instead of one or the other, you know what I mean? And but to measure that, it's going to tell you good half and half, So what I do is, for example, what am I going to need? How much material am I going to need? Well, I don't know the mathematical. I don't go with the math thing where you measure the length, width, the height, and all that. But what I discovered, I have one in here already glued to the bottom of the base. What you do is take hot glue to your subject and glue it to the bottom in the center there. And then this is what you're going to have. See what I have? There's a little guy in there. And then once that's done, I get some rice, and then I take it, grab some of that rice, and I'll fill this little guy all the way to the top. That. Level it on the top. And that'll tell me how much material I'm going to need to mix to create a mold like this. Once I get that done, then I'll take it and I'll measure two parts. But half of it's gonna have to go Well, this is not the. This is just to see how much material you're gonna need on each container. So, you know, that's pretty close, maybe not. But anyway, I usually draw a line with a marker here and see until they're both the same, you know. So now I know I got the same amount on the, different, you know, the A and B, and then I'll put this back in here after I marked it, and then I'll mix this guy. But you got to mix it really slowly because you don't want no bubbles to get in, air to get into the material, because you'll have little bubbles, and it'll come out on your mold. So then when you pour that stuff in there, you know, this is upside down. This is going to be, you're going to fill it all the way up to the top. And this is what you get out of there. After you're done, you just tear the box right off. Don't worry about anything. And then you're going to have this right here. And this is the little guy, you know. So there you have, you know, you got your mold made already, you know. So then what you do, then all you have to do is take this product, other product that I use. It's made by the same company. It's a model. It's called Model Pro, and it's a polyurethane casting resin, and it's also a part A and a part B, and that you mix also equally. So, but I always on my molds, when I'm done, I'll write how many grams I need it. You know, I need there. So once I weigh what I have here, I'll put 22 grams. So that tells me exactly how much material without wasting too much of it. So I'll demonstrate how I do that, because that's the easy part. Once you get your mold made, you'll what you do, you'll need a, let's see, where is that at? Did I bring that or not? I'm looking for a scale. Let's see if I got it. Yep. You'll need a weighing scale, you know. I prefer a digital one. So you got a little scale, been used quite a bit. So then I'll turn it on, and then so that tells me if it's 22 grams, that tells me I need 11 grams of A and 11 grams of B. So that's what we're gonna do. And zero it out, you zero it out, and then you weigh your cup first, you know, and it says 3 grams. So then you push the on and off button again, and it'll bring it down to 0. So now you're only gonna weigh the material now. So pull this out of there, and now it tells me 5. Okay, zero it out. Then I take this material. Make sure you shake it really well. And put this over here. And we're gonna get, let's see, zero it again. 11 grams. It can't be 11 grams. Okay. Too much. It's really okay, there we go. Put that away. Take part B. We'll do the same. Now I'm gonna mix. I have to have the sticks ready for mixing it. So you got to be ready when you do this, because that'll dry real quick. Actually, probably 10 minutes. It'll be hardened up. So we're gonna go ahead and pour this. Let's see, 23. Well, let's see. Need more of that. All right. Okay. Stop there. Okay. Then you just mix it. This won't create bubbles. This you can mix it as hard as you want. I count about 15 seconds, and then Then I pour it. But you can feel it too. You can feel it getting warm, so that it's time to probably start putting it in there when it starts to get hot. We got that. Get this out of the way. Okay, let's see. Wait a minute before I do that. Let's get this paper towel here. Right. So then you just pour it in there. Well, before that, I usually put this mold release, and I take a brush like this and I'll put it in there. But I did it before I got it here tonight, so it's already got like a little film build up. It's just a mold release, so you don't have a trouble or tear up the mold either. So I'm going to pour this in there all the way up to the top. And I made more than I needed actually, but it's not worried about that. But I usually have something else that I can pour some of that. Like I'll make the flippers of these little guys. I'll have a little flipper mold that I have, and just we'll let it sit there for a few seconds here. And then let's see what else we're gonna do here. Okay, so we got the rice. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is grab this guy right here, because this is I'm going to show you how also at the meantime while that's drying out. Also, I'm going to show you how I bronze them like this guys right here. I usually paint them black. We'll spray paint them with a black primer paint. That way, the bronze will hold grip better. So anyway, I'm going to take just the shell of a little turtle and demonstrate to you guys how I apply that bronze. I can see that it's already setting up. Yeah, you want to wear a pair of gloves because that stuff is nasty, man. Okay. Then let's see, where is my other one? Okay. Here's the product I use for the bronzing. So I'm going to take that out of there. I like to keep them in a plastic bag because they'll dry out on you. And it's not really that expensive. I think it's about $12 for a container. I get it from California. And it's made by a company called Sculpt Nouveau. And you can find them if you Google their name. You'll find it. But I really like this product. It's really simple. Shake it well. Then I'll take it out of here. Open it. And by the way, this is called bronze B metal coating, because it does have little metal flakes in it. That's why it looks like the real bronze, melted bronze. So I got that. And you don't need much. I mean, this container I've had it for years. It doesn't take much to do. And I'll take a cotton cloth like that, and I'll grab it with wrap it around my finger, and then just start. What I do, see, this one's already spray painted, with a black primer, and I'll just tap it. You don't want to paint it, because you want the black to show a little bit. So you're just gonna go like that in there, and just like that. It's really, really a fast process, All I'm doing is dabbing around, and the more texture your subject has, the better that bronze looks, because it won't go in the groove, so it shows it up. Here you can see what I did. See that? It's really a simple process, and anybody can do this. Just don't get carried away too much. And the neat thing about it, once this dries, if you say, man, I put too much bronze, you know, go back and get some black paint. You can buy that cheap black paints, you know, that you get at Hobby Lobby, but water based. And then just go with the black and dab it again, and it'll really turn out really cool. So it's really, it's a no-brainer, really. It's not really simple process here. So that's what we have with that. And you can see that, and what I do with those, this guys here, when I cast them, when I make my turtles, I always, well, I do the egg separate. And then I'll stick this little guys, I'll put a dowel in here and I'll stick it right in there after it's all, you know, after I put the flippers and everything. And I'll just bronze it and I'll put them in there. So they look like the whole body's in there, like this one too. This is a pretty cool one here. I like that. And I did the bear the same way, and also the dolphins too, or casted and bronze. So let's see what this, put this away a minute. All right. So remember, this is called bronze bead coating, and it's by Sculpt Nouveau. There we go. So when you're casting, the only problem you might run into in some subjects, you can't have an undercut on a subject because you won't be able to, you know, like this one. This one was kind of tough because see how the beak, you're trying to pull it out of the mold, the beak will catch in there. So that was really a tough one for me to figure out how to do it. So because when you cast it, then you have the mold and it's all covered. You gotta cut the mold all the way to the base of the, you know, and then you can open the mold and pull it out. This is what I did. I cut it from the top of the head, because even if you have a little bit of a, you know, overlap on the casting, you can go with a sander and smooth it out, you know, and blend it in there. Even up here, because I think this one I kind of had a dowel. I put a dowel on this thing in here, and I casted it that way. But I kept it away from the base, you know, so all the mold stuff would go underneath it too. And then when you pull it out, you're gonna have a little dowel, piece of dowel, the casting, and that you can just sand or cut off and grind it, and then you can still carve this with the power tools and create the feather again. You'll never know that I did that, you know. And the bluegill too. The bluegill, you know, this one's when I make this ones, I also make them flat like that. I'll make a, you know, where's that piece? So this one's I'll just glue it to the bottom, like just like that, you know, and I'll make my, you know, border all the way around, and then I'll just pour my mold stuff in there, and then and the thing, it'll be open like this one here. See, the back side was, once you pull it out here, this is open, and this is how you pour your casting material in there, and just pull it. I cast them a lot. We're teaching airbrush painting. I'll do an airbrush paint class when I go to seminars, and I'll do a 3-hour you know, class, so show them how to, you know, airbrush paint a bluegill. And then you can take it home and white it out again and paint it again. That's the neat thing about it. If you screw it up, paint it again. So let's see how this guy turned out. So now I'm just gonna see if this is all the way dried. If you pull them too soon, it might not be dried, but I think this boy ought to be dried. So pull it out of there. There you go. You got another one of the little guys. So what else have we got? Okay, so if you want to really learn a lot more about casting, molding and casting, they do have this book out there. Not sure what it's called, but it's Molding and Casting Handbook. That's what they call it, I guess. And that's a great book. I mean, it's got all kinds of subjects that you can mold and how to do it, and all different materials. And they use a lot of, because you can cast also in there. If you don't want to use that polyurethane to make this casting. You can use old plaster. You can use plaster too. You can use concrete too. You know, if you want to do flowers or your garden or something, make a mold and make concrete bases or whatever. So it's really a fun deal. I really enjoy making my my molds, and I sell a lot of those guys. So I think this is all I have tonight, folks. Thank you for coming over, and we'll see you later.